Hello and welcome back to the Juniper Tarot. Let's get some more practice in. Um, I think I am going to, let's see, I'm going to ask about the ceasefire between Iran and Hamas. I'm not going to do any special spreads, probably just like 4 or 5 cards in a row, see what they say. I'm trying to not rely on my books so much or looking up cards. It's funny because as soon as I'm on camera, I get a little nervous, like, and I can't think of what the card may mean, even though I may know it a little bit better off camera, but that's okay. It just helps me to, I don't know, helps me to remember things, to think things through, just in case I ever wanted to read cards for somebody else. Did I shuffle these cards well? I do have reversals, maybe. All right, I'm still going to do some more shuffling because I was doing another tarot class, so sometimes I leave a few things in order. Um, let's see. Should I do reversals? Should I do reversals? I kind of don't want to do reversals today just because I want to get away from looking things up as much as possible. But I know as soon as I pull a card, I'll be like, I can't remember what it is. Or I'm not looking at the cards deeply enough for it to tell me a little bit more about its meaning. It's like every card can have a meaning when you look it up in a book, but that doesn't mean that's the only meaning that it has. There's also the sort of feelings that you get from it. I've been doing, or I did for the month of September, a class with Marina. So that was really good, sort of helping you to listen to your spirit guides or your higher self or whatever you would like to call it. It's called Achieving Union. It was really good. I highly recommend it. Still doing the tarot class with Trevor. That's going great. I feel like I need to practice more. Um, just finding the time is a little difficult because I do very much like to record it and then go back and see how things are because I feel like the more practice I get in, the easier things will come to me and I'll be able to really go back to my earlier videos. All right, one more big shuffle. Should I do reversals? I'm going to try it without reversals, see what happens. All right, so the ceasefire between Iran and, no, not Iran. I don't know why I said Iran. Israel, Israel and Hamas. Well, that reminds me. Now I want to also look into the relationship between Iran and Israel in the future, since there is some issues there as well. Okay, so ceasefire. Is this ceasefire going to last? Is it going to bring, I don't want to say peace, it's not exactly the right word, but a stop to the fighting? And I don't mean for just a certain amount of time. I mean like for at least a few years. So is the fighting going to stop for at least a few years from this ceasefire? So that's sad. Regret, despair. That card always says despair to me. I mean, with the way that she's holding her head in her hands crying, right? A little glare. Oh well. Okay. What's next? Ace of Cups. So that's like a new beginning. So this is interesting. Five of Wands. We have some struggle going on there, right? So we have these people fighting. There's four people fighting each other. I'm going to do two more cards. Six of Cups. So this is like showing, it's like a family sharing, right? We have the adult either giving the cup to the child or the child giving the cup to the adult. Either way, they're sharing. That's a good card. And then the Hanged Man. One of my favorite cards. Hanged Man just hanging out there. Okay, so this is interesting. We have the despair. So right now, I don't know if this means that someone is going to lose or someone is not going to be happy with the ceasefire. Probably Israel wouldn't be happy, really. Well, I shouldn't say Israel. I should say Netanyahu wouldn't be happy. I'm sure the people of Israel probably would love for that to end as well. Ace of Cups is a new beginning. And the Cups, water sign. I always think of like abundance with cups in a way. Five of Wands. Wand is, I think, a fire sign. So they're still fighting. There's a new beginning, but there still seems to be fighting. But I feel like I'm not 100% sure what the five has to do with that. So I may look that up. And then the Six of Cups. So I get the cups sharing. So this is a good sign too. But then I get the Hanged Man, which kind of feels like either indecision or contemplation, because the Hanged Man doesn't look particularly sad. When I see the Hanged Man, I see somebody who looks like they're like meditating, almost like, did they put themselves there or did somebody else put them there? So what does this mean between Hamas and Israel? I mean, there's, because of the fighting that's gone on, especially with what Gaza is going through, there's a lot of despair. So even if it stops, there's a lot of hurt and there's a lot of pain going on. That's not just going to go away. But we do have the ability to start anew, but it's not going to be easy. So I think there's still going to be some, I don't know if this is physical fighting and like, or will this be more like bureaucratic fighting, or that it could be more like bureaucratic fighting or small fighting that ends up but not being, like a full on war. But then I get like sharing. I mean, it would be pretty amazing if, the people of Israel, the people of Gaza, if you take out the government, will they help each other? I think that would be actually quite nice. But then you get that hangman at the end. I think the hangman is just like contemplating, looking over what has happened, what the Palestinians have gone through, or what the Israelis have gone through. It could be the whole world, or it could be specific on the Israelis. And and the Palestinians really thinking and contemplating about what happened. Um, there could be a stalemate in the sense of they try to sort of work together, but it may not exactly work. So, but this isn't like a card of war or fighting. So I don't see that. I can also feel like this is kind of like, this almost feels like the Palestinians, the Six of Cups, getting back together, helping, of course, taking care of each other to get back to their lives, right? Getting back to their livelihood. The Five of Wands could be Israel fighting within itself. Maybe it's the Israeli people fighting with Netanyahu. So the ceasefire, it looks like it could bring a new beginning. So maybe they won't continue fighting. I was worried that Israel would just attack again. As Netanyahu, I don't really see him wanting any type of peace. And if Trump thinks he did something really good, I'm sure Netanyahu would be like, haha, no, you didn't. And then he would just ruin everything. But I don't really see that here unless the Five of Wands is a little bit more, it's a little bit more like a battle than I see it. This just feels like a smaller fighting, maybe even infighting, because the two people, they look very similar, right? They look like they're on the same team. So it almost looks like infighting to me. I'm going to check one thing. I'm glad I got through this without looking up anything. It's just that when I get to the middle, like kind of numbers, I see the story, but then once you put it in a spread, I sometimes feel like I lose the story. Um, so this does, represent conflict. It could be ongoing or it could be brewing and eventually explode in one's face. Or it could be communication problems, people not listening to each other. There's no agreement or understanding that's reached. So that's really interesting because then the Six of Cups could be even the outside world helping the Palestinians. Yeah. It's difficult when you're learning to do tarot because I feel like I could read this in multiple ways. I could read this as there's a ceasefire, there's despair, ceasefire creates that new beginning. There's still going to be battles, no agreement, but the world is going to help Palestine and Gaza. And when it comes to Hamas and Israel, there's just going to be stuck, hanged man. So you can see how I can read it two ways. So I don't know if I really have a good answer. So I'm going to do like the twins do. Clarifier. Lovers. Ooh. See, that to me is a good card. That to me says things will be patched up, but I couldn't imagine Israel and and Palestine being that close. You know what I mean? Unless you're just talking about the ordinary everyday citizens, the government, no. But the citizens, the Palestinians, the Israelis, they could come together in the end. So that's very interesting. All right. So let's do Iran and Israel. Iran and Israel. What's in the future for Iran and Israel? I've noticed that sometimes the biggest problem, besides coming up with a question, is just what kind of spread should I do? And I've kind of noticed from watching readers, people have their favorite kind of spreads. People have spreads that they use for specific types of questions, which makes sense. And then others kind of just keep pulling cards because, they're seeing the story unfold. So I find all those very interesting. I don't want to go in too deep because then I feel like I'm still new. So if I keep pulling card after card after card, it's going to be like anything can happen. So I like sticking with the 5 for now. And then if I need to pull a clarifier, I'll pull a clarifier. That seemed to work pretty nice. Even liked how it looked. And I still have a glare, which is kind of annoying. But I want you to be able to see the cards well, but it is what it is. Okay, so what is in the future? I would say within the next, let's say the next year or two for Iran and Israel. What's in the future there? No, no reversals. So if it comes up reverse, I'm just going to turn it around. The lovers. Oh my goodness. Well, that's interesting. The chariot. 9 of swords again. Ay, 4 of cups. And the star. Star always confuses me, that card. I don't know why, but I find it to be a very confusing card in its meaning. So this is interesting. The lovers. The lovers says to me partnership, but not necessarily like a partnership that will last. Hmm. The chariot to me says forward motion. Somebody's moving ahead with something. And then you have this 9 of swords, which says to me despair. Somebody going to get stabbed in the back. We have 4 cups. This guy is very upset because one of his cups fell over. He's losing what? Creativity, insight. He still has another cup behind him, but he's got 3 good cups. But he's mulling over that fourth one that fell over. He's looks pouty, right? He looks kind of like a little brat, kind of. That's what his stance says to me. He's got his arms crossed, like Trump. And then the star. The star is what confuses me. I always get confused by the star. I'm gonna look up the star, and maybe that will help me tell the story. I don't know why the star always confuses me. I feel like it's just the one that it never really sticks out to me, its meaning. I mean, it does have the water. He's got the cups. We're talking about nourishment, fertility, well being. Hope, renewed strength, the ability to carry on one's life, being blessed by the universe. This one did come up, even though I said no reversals, it did come up reversed. But I said no reversals, so I'm not going to do it. Because the star follows the tower. Tower is trauma. Um, so now we're kind coming out of the trauma. So this is interesting. Uh, Again, I feel like this could mean a few different things. I mean, because when I see the Lover's card, this doesn't necessarily mean to me true love. This could be somebody catfishing somebody else. So maybe Israel and Iran play nice. They act like, oh, yeah, everything's fine. Trump fixed it for us. Sure. But somebody's moving forward with something. And for some reason, this feels sneaky to me. Like this person is in the chariot at night, although most of these cards are at night. That emblem was a little scary looking to me. Um, the lions are on their way. So there's something very biblical about that. Like the lions are on their way to take revenge or to secretly attack, because then I have the Nine of Swords. And as soon as I see the Nine of Swords, it's just the 10 is the completion card. This is the 9 card. This is before completion. She's in sorrow. And the swords, I just feel like somebody gets stabbed in the back. And then you have this person here, very upset that they got stabbed. Either they got stabbed in the back, or maybe this is Trump who said, you guys are supposed to play nice and now you're not. And now I'm pouting and I am mad. But then you have the star. So in the end, does it work out okay? Well, I want this to be reversed. I mean, it came out reversed, but I said no reversals. But I feel like it should be reversed, but maybe it shouldn't. I don't want to put in my logic into what I think it is. If it's coming up this way and I said no reversals, stick to no reversals. Or maybe I don't think Iran and Israel would work together to stab Trump in the back. I mean, I'm sure they don't like him, but I don't think they like each other enough to do something like that. Clarifier, King of Swords. Hmm. King of Fire is what? No, not fire. Swords are, wands are fire. Swords, we're looking at intelligence, right? One of the days it'll come to me very quickly. But this is why I practice, because it's not coming to me quickly. Intelligence, logic, truth, ambition, conflict, and communication. Swords are double edged. The king is clear in thought, truth, and authority. You have to remain objective. You have to stick to the facts. The king of swords is very smart, sharp, and observant. But the swords are always double edged. So we have the despair, we have the Four of Cups. I mean, this looks like somebody has been fooled. Someone has been stabbed in the back, but still something turns out okay. It really does look like Israel and Iran are actually get friendly, and they make moves and cause grief to Trump. It's like Ronald McDonald. Um, Maybe they solve something. He's very angry because he's supposed to solve everything. But somebody is acting on clear thought. They're very intelligent. They're thinking this through. Someone's in control of this situation. That's what it says to me. There's somebody in control of this whole situation. But who is that? Who is in control of this whole situation? It's not Trump. Maybe it's maybe it's Iran. I can see Iran being very thinking things through, being very intelligent, having that calmness about them. Maybe they make nice with Israel for a little while, but they stab Israel in the back. This could be Trump, Netanyahu, maybe both of them. And the ending turns out very well for Iran, but not so much for Israel. That's what it seems like to me. Entertainment purposes only. Hmm. We'll see what happens. I record these videos so that I can compare them also to the events that happen so that I can actually see if I'm using my intuition correctly, if I'm reading the cards, or if I could have read them a different way. I think the hardest part is being sure to listen to your intuition or your higher self or your guides, whatever you call it. Um, like I said, I'm still learning, but I'm posting these videos publicly. So in case anybody else wants to learn, maybe you'll see my videos and go, oh, that looks like fun. I have my little, since it's October, I got this little guy to put on my little velvet um, cloth. So you got some nice little Halloween skulls for you. I kind of want to do one more quick reading on something. I don't know what. I don't want to look at the governor's race. That's too nerve-wracking for me, so I can't do that. Cannot do that. It's too nerve-wracking. Let's see. How about this? Give me 3 cards for the month of October. I want to use these 3 cards to sort of sum up what we're going to experience in the month of October. See what I mean? If you're new, just make your own spreads. Just say, you know what I want? I want to do this. They're my own spreads, and that's how it is. Okay. No reversals. Queen of Cups. The Tower. Oh boy. And the Eight of Wands. Ooh. So the Queen of Cups. Queens are very nurturing. Cups are all about emotions. What I like about this Queen of Cups is that she's very thoughtful, right? She's kind of looking over the cup in a way, but she's taking her time, right? Maybe she's drinking whatever's in the cup, but she's not doing it quickly. She's not chugging. She's taking her time. She's really savoring what's in the cup. So I feel like this seems very much like biding your time and thinking things through clearly, getting your emotions in check, but understanding them. We're going to need to do a lot of that. The Tower. Now, the Tower. Tower shows that something is coming, something is happening. Look at the background on this card. You got waves coming up. It's like taking over Atlantis. I always had dreams when I was a kid about tidal waves. It's very scary. I would always wake up right before they hit me. This guy's falling out the tower. The tower's getting hit by lightning. There's going to be a lot going on, I think, in October that probably frightens people, makes us feel unsafe. But we're taking charge of our emotions because we know that if we freak out, Trump is going to take that opportunity and he's going to send in the military. He's going to use martial law on us. So we know we have to keep our emotions in check, but we know very well what's going on. We're not closing our eyes. Then I have the Eight of Wands, right? Fire. But this person is shooting off all of their wands, right? They are on the offensive. So we see all of this that makes us feel awful, but we're on the offensive. We're creating good plans because we're nurturing each other, but we're in check of our emotions. And we are going to be on the offensive instead of the defensive. I mean, we have the No Kings events coming up. Trump's not going to like that, even though he'll probably act like it never existed, but he'll know. I think this is good. Like the tower is scary, but we already know these things are happening. So this isn't a surprise, right? And emotionally, we're in the right place so that we can go on this offensive. I think that's what October is going to be about. I'm glad I did this reading. Very grateful. All right. I think I'm going to end there because I could go on forever, but I don't want to. And thank you for watching. If you have any comments or questions, feel free. If you're a jerk, I will just delete it. But no, I love the tarot community. So if people want to comment on it and or just say hello, I appreciate it. Okay, so thank you very much. Have a good day.